Synopsis. We start with our guys at the pool trying to get a girlfriend.
What time is it? It's girl time!
Ha, cute. They start with the Jennifers, who are still not interested. Camille stops by, but none of them seem to be interested in her. And Carlos strikes out with twins we haven't even met before. They sit down to contemplate why there can't just be a girl at the Palmwoods perfect for them, when fate knocks on the door and delivers Joe. No. Not. Do you think me and Kendall? No. Anyway, we meet Joe, a sweet wannabe actor from North Carolina, who they are all immediately obsessed with. They arrive at the studio and are immediately given a love song that Gustavo wrote. This of course breaks into one of their signature fantasies, which of course ends with them fighting over who gets a shot with Joe, which is broken up by Freight Train. Who is Freight Train? Gustavo's new executive. And honestly, he's really just there to intimidate the guys. Gustavo comments on the smell, and James reveals he's wearing body spray. Oh no, he's an Axe kid. Hey, I still remember what my high school locker room smelled like. They get into the recording booth, but James won't stop sneezing, leading to Gustavo demanding that he be brought to the doctor, while the other three get to go back to the Palmwoods and try their luck with Joe, who they dub the new girl, since her name actually isn't spoken in this episode. Kendall, Carlos, and Logan all return to the Palmwoods, and use a magazine to try and figure out what women like. They all choose a character to pretend to be to try to impress her. Didn't we just have the bad boy episode? However, Kendall decides to just go as himself, which is pretty true to his character. Meanwhile, at the doctor though, James is being seen by Dr. Dude Brah. And it's revealed that James has almost as big a fear of needles as I do. Don't worry, I've only bitten one doctor. Anyway, back at the studio, Gustavo has writer's block. He just can't figure out why the song doesn't quite sound right to him. And Katie shows up and mocks him for it. She says she's writing a report, and she'd rather do it on him than have to read about some dead person. He agrees to the interview, but she just insults him and, well, at the Palmwoods, they draw straws to see who gets to talk to Joe first, with Carlos winning. He tries to make an impression, but doesn't even get a word out before she mentions she does not like bad boys whatsoever. It's almost like you should have learned from the last episode, Carlos. He finally gets the chance to speak, and out of panic, he steals Logan's bit, pretending to be British. Next is Logan's turn, but Camille stops him in his tracks.
One Tree Hill?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I ship it. Kendall's turn finally comes up, and Joe is gone. Leading back to the B-plot at the studio, though, more insults are given, and Gustavo deflects, saying he doesn't need to know what love is to write a love song. Love's for idiots. I'm not an idiot. Everyone's an idiot but me. And I totally agree with that, bro. No shame. Katie tries to leave early, but is basically held captive by Gustavo until he can finish the song. He calls the boys back, and Freight Train does his thing. Back at the hospital, James is strapped down, and says he'll basically do anything except, well, get a shot. And so...
Yes, I will.
What was that? What was that?
Gustavo is rightfully upset, but luckily James owns up to it. You know, this is actually very big of him. Good on him for being, oh, that sly dog. The boys try to follow him out, but are stopped by Freight Train, who actually lets them know it's actually a pretty good song, and if he was a girl and someone sang it to him, he'd be touched. Why is Freight Train the best character in this show just from this one line? They big time rush back to the Palmwoods, but it's too late. James, oh God, what the, what, who did this? Who approved this? Scott, was this you? What have you done? James leaves and the guys get Guitar Dude to play the song outside her window while they sing along. She admits she's touched, but tells them she has a boyfriend. But the day is not a total loss, seeing as Gustavo realized it's not a slow love song, but he needs to work up the tempo and make it a fast love song. They make a banger, Griffin likes the song, but says they still need a slow love song on the album. Katie finishes her report on a successful note, and the boys celebrate. And Joe's name was never spoken in this entire episode. Thoughts? Once again, Scott Fellows delivers an amazingly written episode, but I'll be the first to admit it has its faults. Starting with the bad, Joe's never given a name. It almost makes me curious if she was never intended to be a reoccurring character, but maybe the actress just worked well with all the other actors, and they decided to keep her for more episodes than she was originally signed on for. James' prosthetics were, but that's less of a writing issue and more of a directorial issue. You're off the hook this time, Scott, but if you let something like this happen again, I'll know it's you. My only other gripes were just due to continuity issues. The guys just kind of seem to forget what happened an episode ago, as they're willing to change on a dime just to impress this girl. On the good side of things, though, it's a Scott Fellows episode. What do you expect? He includes callbacks to all the previous episodes he's worked on, like Camille liking Logan and the reference to Girl Time. He's overall just a talented writer, and I think my only major complaint is that I know he can do better. I feel like I did enjoy this episode more than Big Time Bad Boy, but overall I think it stands at about the same level. That being that if you weren't looking for it, you could probably watch this episode without noticing all the types of mistakes that I did, so I feel it's only fair to award this a platinum record. Trivia. Not really any trivia to give for this episode, but I guess I can use this time to rant about how this episode delivered 2 new characters with reoccurring roles, but didn't give them official names in this episode. First is Joe, who I already speculate probably was just a one-time character they decided to hire on for more episodes. But the second was Dr. Hollywood. Dr. Hollywood doesn't honestly appear in that much of the show, but it's surprising they didn't at least give him a name in this episode, but I'm starting to see that this is kind of a pattern with the early stuff. Not a huge deal, just a small nitpick. I actually didn't get any information from the Wikipedia page this time. All the trivia they had listed were just small little goofs in the episode, and I didn't feel they were really worth mentioning, so yeah, all of this was just kind of my own findings. There you go. Well, there you have it. First 5 episodes down, 15 more to go. It's still a long journey, but we can make it there. I'm going to take a break from recording, though. It's a little cramped in my small apartment. Just wish it was a little bigger.
When the window blew out, I fell, cut myself. As the blood spilled, I was helpless, nearly killed. Your actions, they did curse me, and yet your lies still hurt me. One heart for all beings.